As the United Kingdom continues to report a record number of COVID cases, the Prime Minister stressed the need to exercise caution in booster doses if the country does not want to be in lockdown during Christmas. For now, the government has refrained from announcing any new measures, though Johnson warned that he will not hesitate to impose lockdown if the situation calls for it.
We agreed that we should keep the data from now on under constant review, keep following it hour by hour, and unfortunately I must say to people we will have to reserve the possibility of taking further action to protect the public and to protect public health, to protect our NHS, and we won't hesitate to take that action. But in the meantime, what I would say to everybody is please exercise caution as you go about your lives. Please think of the guidance and think of protecting yourself and your loved ones. And please get a booster. Please get a vaccination.
These comments come after the Prime Minister held a cabinet meeting to discuss the new curb, something his own party is not in favour of. Just last week, nearly 100 of his own MPs rebelled against tougher measures to stop the Omicron variant spread. This means, for now, the government has decided not to limit social interactions over Christmas, which is just days away. Now, despite the government's own scientific advisors urging for it. After a 2-hour meeting, Johnson failed to provide any clarity on the government's action plan, saying that they were looking at all kinds of things to keep this surge under control and that it ruled nothing out. Britain reported over 91,000 cases on Monday, with the highest number of infections in London. Daily case records have repeatedly broken over the last week as the country struggles to contain Omicron. The government had earlier this month reported implementing its Plan B, mandatory masks, working from home if possible, COVID passes for large events to try and stem the surge. It has also set the highly ambitious goal of offering booster vaccines to all adults by the end of the month. But in contrast to its European neighbours, there has been no new guidelines limiting socialisation, and despite all of this, infections are continuing to spiral. The Mayor of London also announced that it was cancelling a major New Year celebration, which was to be held at the Trafalgar Square. Meanwhile, several recent scandals and controversies have left UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson humiliated, and public and political resentment against him is only growing at this point. According to a latest opinion poll published by Ipsos Mori, most adults in Britain think it is likely that Boris Johnson won't be the Prime Minister by the end of 2022. The poll found out that 6 out of 10 people think Johnson will be out of his job by the end of next year. There has been growing anger over multiple reports of government officials, including Johnson himself, holding gatherings and parties when Britain was under strict lockdown last year. They've also raised doubts about Johnson's authority within the Conservative Party. Despite Johnson's efforts to mitigate the crisis, new photos, videos have kept emerging showing government officials flouting their own guidelines. The most recent incriminating picture showed Johnson over a dozen other officials with him drinking wine in the garden of the Downing Street residence in May 2020, at a time when the government had imposed strict restrictions and lockdowns. Rushing to the Prime Minister's defence, his deputy, Dominic Raab, has said Downing Street uses that garden as a place of work and that the photos published do not show a party. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.